enjoy the type. I mean, being on the phone is you know, is at times a daunting task, and doing the web demos can kind of become monotonous. So I'm looking for something that allows some flexibility in how they sell.
Okay.
You know, as part of our culture, we don't want to constrain them to a point where they, you know, become minions and they're not doing, you know, not infusing their own personalities, their own creativity into the process. So those are some barriers that I face.
Okay, excellent. If you had one breakthrough, something, you know, a magic wand,
Yeah.
that would make things fantastic for you, what would that be?
I think it would, you know, again, just getting everybody up to speed.
Up to speed?
Up to speed where they could be performing at the levels that I want them to perform. That we need them to perform. And that goes above and beyond just meeting goals, but it's looking forward to the future where we want to take at task and take company growth.
Okay. I greatly appreciate everything that you shared with me here. I think this has been very valuable. I think and I thank you for being so open.
Happy to do so.
You know, I'm interested in, you know, there's a number of things that you've mentioned in here that have triggered thought for me.
Okay.
You know, that I'm excited about sharing with you. I'm conscious of time though.
Sure.
And
sure.
is now a good time to be able to delve into it?
Yeah, I think we've got about 10 minutes.
Okay,
about 10 minutes.
Tremendous. I think the piece that stood out to me the most, you know, things that have actually come over a few times within this conversation is the turnover, hanging on to talent. You've also mentioned that you've got a veteran and rookie, you know, component to your team.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I think the other piece as well is you know, you want to hit that goal. You're sitting at 65% right now.
Mm-hmm.
You know, typically in past years, you indicated that 75% is where you typically are.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, I think there'll be a greater push, I would imagine, you know, towards the tail end of this year.
Mm-hmm.
I think that nothing that you've indicated to me here is outside the realm of what we can do.
Oh, good.
There's nothing that's foreign to us. Yeah.
Good.
I think the piece that you said was, you know, I'd like to have my team come up to speed. I think you indicated that you didn't have a sales process,
Mm-hmm.
a sales system in place.
Mm-hmm.
What would that mean if you did have a sales process?
Well, it would give kind of a guide, give vision
Right.
to our sales force.
Right.
It would, I think, empower them
Right.
in their role as an at task salesperson, and I think it would, you know, we could then support what we needed to, you know, we could identify the gaps and the points of weakness in each salesperson in the process. But right now they're kind of going about their way of selling uniquely, and it's hard for us to be able to standardize and compare one rep to an next.
That's very insightful, Sterling. That's very, very insightful. And I think that the pieces there, we find that when teams have a greater, a common language, common structure, that they tend to actually accelerate far greater.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's definitely something that we can provide. I think that the great benefit that we would bring to your organization is that we would be able to provide a common structure, a common language that is flexible enough and adaptable enough for both veteran and rookie, where both will excel, you know, within the system. And you know, I think that's what's exciting to me. I think that's definitely something that would generate immense amount of revenue for your team. I mean, if we're basically just looking to bump it from 15%, you know, from on your demo closing ratio, to 20 or 25, you know, might have to tie my hand behind my back.
Yeah, that would be great. I mean, if we could get it up to the 25, I mean, I can only imagine the impact that would have.
You know, I think, and so, you know, I think I'm now at a point where I believe that we have a good fit here. You know, I think that from a solution standpoint, we definitely are able to present a common system, a common structure, a process, a sales process that will is designed to cut the sales cycle, but also to preserve the closing ratios where you'll have a better closing ratio, preserving the margins that are in sales as well. I think something that's super important. You indicated that you spend a lot of time on the front end, of the transaction and on the tail end of the transaction. There's a couple of trackings of with regard to the demos and conversion ratios there. But those are pretty much tracking things that are on either end of the sales cycle.
Sure, true. Yeah.
Sales happens in between that.
Sure, I can see that.
So our scorecard tool would be immensely valuable to your team, where a scorecard is designed to unlock your pipeline, be able to actually look inside the pipeline, see the health of your pipeline, and see where you'd be able to make better predictions. Based on history, based on where you are. It give you greater ability to be able to communicate those numbers, those figures more accurately to the venture capital group, to the other executives that you report to.
Sure.
So make you a hero, in that component where if you're consistently monitoring and engaging the right things, and you've got your finger on the right pulse. This would be very, very valuable for you, I think.
True.
Not to mention be able to actually develop both the veteran and the rookie by being able to look inside their pipeline and be able to speak specifically towards what they're doing and where they need to go. Of what I've mentioned there, what has stood out to you most?
You talk about the uniform system or process. I think that appeals. The scorecard, I would, be curious to learn a little bit more about the scorecard and how that would be implemented. As you talk, I guess I want to believe what you say, right? I mean, I hadn't heard of Griffin Hill other than my buddy.
Absolutely, sure.
So how long has this company been around?
25 years. It's been
really 25 years. Why haven't I heard about it before?
Well, we are a boutique. We cater towards Fortune 500 companies, Xerox Connect, where we cut their sales cycle from 18 months to 4 months. Had a tremendous impact upon their revenue. We've been able to apply those principles towards smaller businesses, smaller companies like yourself. Though we see great prospects for your company. I mean, what you've described is much like what we saw with A+ Benefits. When we first engaged that company, it was more of it was a small payroll company, one of 3. They're now the #1 PEO company in the Rocky Mountain region. They've done that over a 10-year period. They've grown between 123 and 145% year over year.
Wow.
So it's not untypical for our clients to see triple-digit growth. Now we help them manage that growth as well. I can see that if you start growing in that capacity, I mean we've got a whole set of new challenges but those are good challenges.
We'll take those
to be faced with. That's
Sign
right.
me
Sure.
up.
Yep. So from that aspect, I definitely see that having a common language, being able to communicate value to your clients, being able to manage the expectations of your clients, being able to manage the development